Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my video. Today I have a fun video for y'all and I'm so excited to do it. So basically I'm gonna be doing my makeup like I did in high school, which back then was so different from nowadays. So this is the makeup I did in like 2010 to 2013. So a long time ago now, and I wanted to do this because I've been seeing on TikTok where girls either dress up or do their makeup like back in the day, and I thought it was such a great idea, so I wanted to do it. So I went to the store and I bought things that I used to use back then, but some I couldn't find anymore, guys. Like they're literally discontinued. Even like the product will be available, but the color that I used to use was discontinued. So some of these things I had to improvise and just look in my collection and see what kind of matches. So first, let's talk about makeup trends. Back then, we did not wear fake eyelashes. Maybe like older people or when people went out to parties. But like people in high school never wore eyelashes. Like now I see how girls go to high school and they have full glam on. They have highlighter, blush, bronzer, everything. Back then, that was not a thing. Back then, we didn't even wear bronzer really. So we really relied on heavy eye makeup and like blush, basically. Another difference is that back then, eyebrows were not a thing. The most people did was brush them out or put like clear gel, and that was about it. Nobody filled them in. Like, can y'all believe it? We all had like full eyeshadow going and no eyebrows. Like, that's why I thought this video would be fun. I want to see what I look like with the makeup from back then. I also want to say back then was the Myspace era, aka the best era ever. So back then, a lot of people on Myspace were emo, you know, like even if you weren't emo, you did your makeup pretty emo. So I did wear heavy eyeliner, mostly because when you're on Myspace, that's what you saw. It's like how you guys do your glam, because you see it on TikTok, because you see it on Facebook, on Instagram, you know? So we would see emo kids doing their makeup super dark. We all wanted to be like them. So it's gonna be fun. Let's see what happens. So let's get into it. The first thing that I used, and I still use till this day, is this foundation. It's the Revlon Color Stay, and this is the oily combo skin one. And as you can tell, it's dirty. Like, I use this, guys. This is my favorite foundation since high school. I will never change this. Let me tell you, this is not full coverage at all. Back then, full coverage foundation was not very popular. The most full coverage foundation back then was probably MAC, and MAC made me break out, so I couldn't use it. I was a teenager. I was going through hormones. This one got me through my acne phase, everything. So let's put her on. Honestly, I used to apply this with my hands. I can't do that now. My skin is not young and beautiful anymore. Like if I do it with my hands, things are gonna get crusty. So I am gonna use my Real Technique sponge. But yes, I applied it with my hands, which honestly back then was very common. You never really saw beauty sponges. The sponges people would use back then were like the little white ones. I'll put a picture right here because I don't know what they're called. But yeah, those were the only ones that were really around. It's so crazy how makeup has changed. So I really like this foundation. It lasts all day. I wear this to festivals. It does not budge on me because I have oily skin and things would always slide. This foundation made it through PE, guys. I had first period PE. Who the fuck chooses PE for first period? Oh yeah, this girl. So I needed a foundation that was gonna work. So I would get out of PE and this thing would still be on. I would just like reapply powder and that was pretty much it. I'm gonna apply this very easily because I do remember when I did it with my hands, it wouldn't be full coverage. It just kind of made everything look better, honestly. I remember when I was in high school, people would always tell me that I wore too much makeup, which is so funny because nowadays y'all wear too much makeup. Like if I wore this nowadays to school, this is probably like a natural look. It's crazy to think of. But you see, like it does cover, it did the job, and it stayed on all day. Since we're doing the throwback makeup, let's talk about beauty gurus that I used to love watching. So when I was in high school, Missglamorazzi was a big old thing. I used to love her. I still do. I followed her until her last video, and I still follow her now that she sells candles. She was honestly my role model. It's funny because growing up, I obviously was in the closet for most of my life, so I would watch her videos to be more girly because my family was kind of tripping that I wasn't dressing girly enough, and I didn't want to come off as lesbian or anything. Not that it's a bad thing, but you know how parents are. But I used to watch her to learn like little tips and tricks on how to do my makeup so that I didn't look so boyish. And it's funny because now that she came out, like who would have known? Like we came out pretty much together. It's so cool. Like she was my role model and we ended up being basically the same person. Like you really don't know what people go through. Another person I used to love watching was Bethany Moda. I think her name was MacBarbie07. Oh my god, she had all the DUIs. Okay, that's it for the foundation. Oh, I love this foundation so much. Next, for powder, I used to use this really old CoverGirl powder. I tried to find it. They do not make it anymore. It was literally a really small blue one. Horrible packaging. It did nothing. I didn't know what it did. It was a hand-me-down. A lot of my makeup that's discontinued was hand-me-downs from my sister. So since I couldn't find it, I'm just gonna go in with my Milani powder. But instead of applying it how I usually do, I'm gonna do it how I used to, which was just a brush and put it all over. So back then, big old brushes like this to apply your powder were a big old thing. And the bigger the better. I remember I used to watch this girl. She had a huge ass one, literally covered her whole face. I used to love it. So yeah, back then we would just lightly cover our face with powder, which is crazy because nowadays a lot of people pack it on. Like we want full coverage. So I'm just gonna apply it everywhere. It feels so weird applying it like this. Like I still see my pores. But back then we didn't have pores, right? We're in high school. We had nice skin. Well, besides the acne. Can y'all believe we did not do our eyebrows back then? Like, I literally walked around like this. What? And then when you do my eyeliner, you're gonna understand why it's so cringe now. Like, I did so much eyeliner and then my eyebrows looked so light. Lord. But yes, I didn't even use clear gel, nothing. I just had a spoolie like this and I would brush them out, so that's what I'm gonna do. It's so funny how the trends have changed. Some part of me wishes it was like it used to be though, because I feel like there's so much pressure to look good nowadays. Like, if I did my makeup like this now, I would be out of the door in like 10 minutes. Where now we take like 3 hours just to do a full glam. Crazy. Eyebrows done. Now for eyeshadow, I couldn't find the little palette I used to use, but it was one of those palettes that came in those kits you find at Walmart. You know, during the holiday season where you get the little cheap makeup kits with different eyeshadows and they're usually really chalky and horrible? That's what I would use. But basically, it was just a bunch of like champagne shades. So I'm just gonna use this Tarte palette because it has a lot of shades like that. And then I used to use a concealer brush to like just pack it on all over. I used to use a color almost my skin color. So I think I'm gonna go in with this one right here. And then I would put a little darker one on the side. So I'm gonna try to use either this one or the brown one. Another interesting fact was that back then we didn't really use matte colors. A lot of our eyeshadow looks were all shimmery. Yes, we would put shimmer eyeshadow in our crease. No matte, all shimmers. So honestly, I loved that look. I thought it looked amazing. Like, everybody was just shimmering in the sun, you know? And honestly, when you put a shimmer in the crease with the shimmer on your eyelid, they blend so beautifully. I still do it. I don't care. I mean, makeup, you do whatever you want with makeup. But yeah, it would just give a sheen, and I used to love that. I remember people would always compliment me on it, which is so crazy because it was literally one eyeshadow. I also used to do my makeup in the mirror in my restroom because my mom could not afford a little mirror for me, like with lights and everything. Ugh, times were so different. She didn't even know about makeup really. So like I had to learn from YouTube, watching YouTubers. So just like that, I would not put anything on the bottom. It was just like that. One thing that I still do the same is my inner corner. I would always put eyeshadow there. So I'm just gonna take the white one in here. And like I said, it was like a little trio palette from Walmart. And it had like those 3 colors that I used. And I only used that until, you know, I graduated from high school. And then I was able to like afford my own makeup. Now time for the eyeliner, guys. Like I said, it was the Myspace days. We loved our emo eyeliner. The more eyeliner, the better. So I used to use 2 products and they still made them. So I was so excited. So they're both L'Oreal products. The first one is this one. It's a liquid eyeliner. It doesn't have a name on here. It says Liner Intense and it's in black. And basically looks like this. So it's just a little tip, and honestly this would dry shiny, which used to bug me. But back then we didn't have good liquid eyeliners at the drugstore, which is so crazy. But back then liquid eyeliner wasn't a big thing. It was mostly pencil. So this was the only one that I could use that did not budge on my oily eyelids. And then on my lower lash line I would use this one, which is the L'Oreal Infallible. And it has that little smudger. These were your best friend, let me tell you. Every person had an eyeliner with the smudger because you had to smudge the bottom. Because if not, your eyes would look too shut. So this was important. Let's do it. I don't know if I can still do it, guys. If I get out of camera range, I am so sorry. But I used to be in my mirror like, you know. So what worries me is this one. I haven't used an eyeliner with this kind of tip. Like I'm used to the felt tip one, so it's just like a pen. This is hard. Oh Lord. Now I didn't do anything interesting. I didn't know how to do a wing. I didn't know how to do any of that. So I just did a line and that's it. I'm so scared. Okay, I hope you guys can see because I need it. This is so hard. My hand is like shaking. Also, I learned with this to not blink. So I'm just gonna continue to do that now. Because I remember I would always get it in my eye and it would burn. It's so hard. Like, how did I do it? I need to be like on the bottom and there's, you know, liner there. Thank God for whoever created felt tip liner. You are the bomb. And like I said, it was the Myspace days, so the darker the better, the thicker the better. Honestly, like this gives you no shape. It would make my eyes look more sunken in. Honestly, this eyeliner is super black. Like I'm not even mad I bought it. I might actually use it if I can get the hang of it. That was so hard. But it's done. So that's what I did, just like a regular line, and it was never even. So people used to compliment my eyeliner all the time. Why? Now for this one. This was my holy grail. When I went shopping, my mom would only let me get one makeup product. It was always this. Like if you would have asked me back then if I could only use one makeup product for the rest of my life, what would it be? It was this, which is crazy because now it would be foundation or powder or everything. I'm curious, did any of you use any of the products I've shown so far? Or who were your favorite beauty gurus back in the day? I feel like YouTube used to be so fun. Like now everybody takes it way too seriously. That's why I wanted to make my own YouTube channel. I wanted to focus on things we used to like back then. Like sit down videos, easy makeup, hauls and stuff like that. Oh, the good old days. So with this, I would do my tight line and my waterline. Oh wow, it's still just as good as I remember. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, see, I don't have it. I don't got it anymore. I almost lost an eye. I don't know who told us wearing so much eyeliner was gonna be a good idea. I used to have raccoon eyes all the time, but you know what? Like I said, in the Myspace days, it was normal. So if you had raccoon eyes, it was kind of like, it looked cool. You know how the girls nowadays put red right here so that their under eyes look super tired? That was the look back then. And then I would go in the inner corner too, guys. You gotta get all the way in there. We're going all the way around. And then we'll go to the bottom. I wouldn't just put it in the waterline. I would go outside a little so that I was able to smudge it out to get like that smoky effect. Oh yeah, starting to look like her now. And I'm just gonna go a little lower and then we're gonna smudge it. You guys see how I went lower like that? That's what you want. I feel so crazy. I would go to school like this, guys. I feel the emo-ness coming back to me. This eyeliner is amazing still, guys. Okay, now we're gonna take the smudger and let's see if I can still do it. And we're just gonna slightly smudge it. We really want to keep the black. We really want to feel dark, okay? Like our soul is black. I never smudge too much, just enough to make it like messy. You guys see how I got messy? That was the look. Whoever's watching this, I hope you guys remember these makeup trends, because if not, you're just looking at me like, oh my god, you're a mess. Okay, and then there's the eyeliner. Not only did we not wear eyelashes, our mascara options were so limited back then. I'm about to throw you back right now. Just wait, just wait. CoverGirl Lash Blast. This baby was the mascara of my high school. Everybody knew this mascara. Every beauty guru tried it. Honestly, this mascara paved the way for every other mascara, because after this one came out, Maybelline started bringing out all the cool ones, because back then we only had this and then the pink with the green cap. Yeah, those were our only two options really, unless you know, went to MAC. So let me show you the one first of all. It barely has any bristles. It's so freaking huge. It's the size of my eye. I would get this everywhere. It had no volume, no nothing. It did nothing for my eyelashes. But did we wear it all the time and rebuy it many, many times? Hell yeah. Stupid face. My eyelashes used to be long in high school, so this kind of like did a little bit something, but now it's not gonna do shit. If you went to high school with me, please comment if you remember my makeup, because funny. That's so funny. People loved my makeup. They would always ask me like, oh my god, how do you do your makeup? How did you learn? YouTube. Back then, guys, we didn't have phones with internet or anything like that. So when I moved and we finally got Wi-Fi, my life changed. That's really why I started wearing makeup. I finally had Wi-Fi. I figured out what YouTube was, and yeah, good times. I wouldn't put anything on the bottom lashes because you couldn't even see it. And if you got mascara on the top lid, it's okay, because I was part of the emo look. It's funny because now girls look so different from when I was in high school. You know what? I'm not even mad at this mascara. Like, it's not doing much, but if you like a natural makeup, you should go try this. I remember we used to go to Costco and they used to sell this mascara in bulks because it was that trendy. Like, you would get this with like 5 tubes. Like, I put my mom on this mascara. We were all wearing it. My sister, everyone. Okay, there are the eyes. I feel so weird. Next is blush, because like I said, bronzer was not a thing back then, guys, at all. It's so weird. Like now, like, because I have a round shape, I feel like I need bronzer, but like I said, that wasn't a thing back then. So we're gonna go into blush, and hear me out, I still have the blush. OMG. So I used to use this Clinique blush. My sister gave this to my mom, but my mom didn't really wear makeup, so I took it. And I still love it so much. I refuse to I refused to let it go. And I loved it because it came with the brush. So I actually used the brush. But basically it's just like a shimmery pink. And they don't make this anymore, guys. Me and my mom went looking for it one day and they don't make it. Like, they have shades similar to it, but not like this anymore. But it's a pretty color. So I'm just gonna go in. And this has shimmers. Shimmery blushes were such a big thing back then because we didn't really use highlighter. So let's just go. I'm so scared because I don't wear that much blush anymore, but... And yes, we would put it on the apples of the cheeks because, you know, we didn't know what we were doing. Like I said, we didn't have Wi-Fi. Like, you went off of pictures, and like, once YouTube became a big thing, that's when people started knowing like tips and tricks. Imagine coming out of PE, super pink, your eyeliner running everywhere. It was quite a look. Yeah. Believe it or not, I was cute in high school. You know what? I'm not even mad right now. I'm actually looking kind of cute. We used to pack on the blush, okay? Especially because my sister used to pack it on, so I just did whatever she did. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's already smudging. Love it. Now, for highlighter, we did wear highlighter, but it's not what it is now. It was not blinding. We definitely didn't put it on our nose, so we didn't have highlighters really. When you had a highlighter, you probably got it from like Sephora or like a, you know, like a fancy store like that. So I would just use that same eyeshadow from my eyes. It was just a little bit, like nothing crazy, so I'm just gonna like slightly put it on. It was always messy because we put it with our freaking fingers, and that was it. No nose, no cupid's bow, that was it. And now for lips. I went looking for my Maybelline lipstick that I used to use. There was two colors I always used. It was the electric something, and it was like a super bright orange, and then like a dusty rose color. I went to look for them. They're not a thing anymore. One thing I was known for was red lipstick, which is crazy because I didn't have any lips. Like, I barely do now. Back then, I had nothing. I couldn't find the red one, but it was basically like this one from ColourPop in Jam Sesh. It's like a pinky red, and basically this color was so popular, especially because of Taylor Swift. Do you guys remember that super popular like CoverGirl lipstick that everyone had? Yeah, red was such a thing back then. So we're just gonna put this one on, and then back then we didn't overline or anything, so we're just gonna put it on. And then another trend back then is when you put on lipstick, you put on lip gloss too. Yes, we just packed on all kinds of stuff. So one of my favorite ever lip glosses that I ever wore, and I would always get asked what lip gloss I was wearing, was Lip Smacker. Yes, you heard me. Lip smackers. They were such a thing. If you've seen Bring It On, I don't know which one it is. These are so popular on that movie, so everybody was wearing them. And I used to have like a watermelon one. I still remember. It was so cute. Right now I'm gonna use this Coke one. It's cherry Coke flavored. You're gonna see why I used to love this. They're so glossy, even though you have to really like pump it out because, you know, this ain't doing much. It actually smells like cherry Coke. You see how glossy it is, guys? Like, who would have ever known, right? Lip smackers coming through. And there are the lips. It looks really good, right? Like, who would have known that lip smackers? So go get you some lip smackers. Go steal your kids' lip smackers. Let me put my hair down and I'll be back to finish the video. Okay, so I put my hair down, and obviously I use a middle part now, but I'm gonna try to do a little side swept because, like I said, it was the emo days. So I used to have my bangs to the side. Also, I have a big forehead, so I used to hate it. And not because I hated it, but because my family told me I had a big forehead and that I should hide it with bangs. So I listened because I was a child. Okay, guys, there you go. Granted, my bangs used to be more like this. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. How crazy, huh? Times have changed so much. Like, honestly, I could wear this makeup nowadays though. It honestly doesn't look that bad. And I used to wear a lot of eyeliner to look older, so it kind of worked. It's so weird seeing myself, I'm not gonna lie. It almost looks exactly like high school Daisy. Like, if I had dark hair, So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know, what makeup trends do you miss, or which ones do you remember? Did you use any of the products that I mentioned? I would love to know. And also tell me, who was your favorite beauty guru or just any YouTuber you used to love watching back in the day? And then if you know me from high school, please let me know. Do you remember when I looked like this? Ugh, so funny. Honestly, I am so happy right now. This video made me really happy. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know. And any other video you would like to see, please leave it in the comment and I'll get to it. I do have another spice challenge coming up. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.